Hello everyone, welcome to the stream. We are doing some more UI work along with some blueprint work. I have Zabby with me for the more important blueprint work. Some of the blueprint work I researched on my own, mainly how to get the UI to display in the game. How are things going, Zabby?
Doing pretty good. Remember we had a bug last time on figuring out why exactly it was letting us keep shooting when the code said we shouldn't. So I'm going to be focusing on that to start with, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah, it's that, and then also getting the ball to stop having actual friction. Because it just continued to roll from what we could see.
Yeah.
So, what we were working on, I need to bring this up. And we are going to go into here. And the reason I'm going into here is there are many parts we're going to work on. First one we're going to work on is this one part right here. So I'm going to bring this up full screen. And you're going to see anchor points.
Well, that bug fix, though I thought it was going to go correctly, wound up crashing the editor completely. So may or may not actually be working. And you may have muted your side.
I see what happened. It was my microphone messing up and freaking out. It automatically muted itself.
Of course.
So let me start from the beginning. So right here, the scoreboard. Or not canvas, but scoreboard. So scoreboard, we want to make sure that its anchor point is actually set to the upper right hand corner of this image. By default, it is naturally already set up with this alignment right here. Okay, and then so the anchor is set 0, 0, 0, 0 for the X and the Y, which means that it's going to anchor actually in this far right corner, and because its alignment is set up that way too, we are perfectly good. We need to do that with the other things, and what I was actually doing is I was renaming things so I knew exactly what they were. It's always a smart thing to do, so I named the scoreboard image scoreboard. I'm going to go here. I'm going to go to, where is it? Why can't I rename that? Should be able to rename, but it's not allowing me to rename these. That is all. Anyways, so I want to go to this background one. I want to make sure that it is aligned to 0, 0, 0, 0. It's also not giving me. I see what the problem is. Need to unlock these. So we have our image here. That's the reason why it wasn't allowing me to rename, is I had locked. So let's find rename, and this image is we'll name that slider background. We have that slider. And this one, if we unhide it, okay. We're going to rename this one foreground, and this one, rename it there we go. All done and set. So got all of that named, and we're just leaving slider as slider because, well, it's the slider. So we got that all set up and done. Now what we want to do is we want to take the background one, and we want to make sure that we have it actually all the way at the bottom and all the way over here. So we're going to need the differences of these as 362 by 362. So let's go ahead and go 362. And then we want 512. Do that, and if we zero this out, enter, should work. Not. Let's undo that, undo that, undo that. Let's go back, edit, undo, edit, undo, undo, edit, undo. There's that. So why did it? Currents. Okay, I missed something here. Well, we'll leave that alone for now. Well, I really want to get into you guys because I'm missing something and I misread something. And that's fine, that can happen sometimes. But what we want to do is we want to got all of that done. We're going to close this out. Back into this. We're going to select this. We don't have the world thing, so we're going to go ahead and world settings. So we have that in here. Okay, we got our details here. Select this, select that. Okay, give me a moment here. Okay. Okay, what we're looking for. Why am I not seeing what they're talking about? Okay, give me one moment. Found the game ride override. Okay, so let's see. Game mode override. None. Game mode. There we go. Okay, create game mode override. We want that. Okay, go into UI, where it will be, and we're going to call this UI underscore HUD. And click save. Okay, and the next thing we need to do okay, so we click this plus here, UI underscore okay underscore overlay. Click there. Okay, so we got that. So now we have that done. So we want to go into, let's see, we need to get rid of these. And then here, one moment here. Okay, so we're going to drag from here. And we're going to do create widget is what we want to create. We got that there. We'll just put that like so. Let's zoom out a bit. Around, zoom back in. Okay, so we got that. Then the next thing we need to do. Okay. Okay, and then we get owning player. Then we do get. And then owning player. So let's move this over here. So we have all of that. Move this one more over. Slide this over just so it's easier to read. Oh, get player controller. I got the wrong thing. So let's get this. Hold on one moment. So we're going to delete this. Get player controller right here. That's what we're wanting. Helps if you do the search for the right things. Okay, so we're gonna go here, going to right click, remote to variable like so. Click here. We're going to do this that way. Okay. Let me make sure I'm seeing this correctly. Yep. My eyes sometimes. Let's rename. We're going to call this UI underscore. Come on. UI underscore not underscore. Prince. Okay. There we go. And by the way, but naming this allows us access to other areas. Okay, and then we're gonna drag off here. Add to viewport. Like so. Back out. There we go. Okay, so we're done there. We're gonna go compile. Ooh, we got an error. Oh, I forgot to set the class. Oops, my bad.
Always little things.
Oh, always. Okay, so we want to find, so for class, we want our HUD UI. There we go. So that should be good. And we do that, we should be good there. So now when I click play, look at that! UI shown.
Nicely done. Now we just got to get linked up to the actual control system.
Yep.
But now that we can actually reach the UI, we should be able to make all the parts hook in properly.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, look at that. Does that not look nice?
Yeah. Looks like how I remember, and they're good assets then.
Well, heck, I remember when we had the slider originally down here. And going vertical instead of horizontal.
The other way around, but yeah.
Yeah. And someone mentioning that to us, and we're just like, oh God, we're idiots. Come back tomorrow. And he literally came back tomorrow the next day, and we showed him, and he's like, perfect. And that's where I like showing things off, is because we're so close to the project, we don't notice small little things like that can improve it. And so by him literally stating that, it improved the immersion of the game. And I've mentioned that so many times in City of Heroes, of the immersion factor that you get of games like City of Heroes. And having that in. Now, you may be asking yourself, well, why is there no text on the scoreboard like here, here, and here? The reason we've done that is we're going to do that all through that UI setup. We're going to have that in text because we're future-proofing the UI. And by the way we're future-proofing this is if we were to have the text embedded into the image, what would happen when we went to go to different regions, like let's say we wanted to add Spanish, or we wanted to add Japanese or something like that, we would have to change every single image, and there would be multiple images of the same thing with the different text. By having the text as its own layer in the UI, all we have to do is just change that for the region it's in. So in the future, if we end up doing that, what will end up happening is you'll be able to say, okay, what region you're in? You're in Mexico, okay, we're gonna give it Spanish. You're in Japan, we're gonna give it Japanese. And it would change all of the UI elements to fit for the region where you're living in, and it wouldn't be huge files of different scoreboards for those different regions. It would just be a text change, and text files are way smaller than image files are. So we're literally optimizing as we're going along. We're making it a lot better and easier to handle on the developer end too. So it works on two ends. The game will run better for you guys, and we will have an easier time of doing different regions and languages as we add them in for translation and stuff like that. Release of the game is only going to be English, because I do not want to use Google Translate for that. I want to hire on an actual translator, hand them all of the text, and say, translate this to this language. They'll send the translates, I'll put that into the game, and done. So if the game takes off, I can go ahead and do that. And the way I'm going to choose what regions get it first is based on where the most players are. If we have a bunch of players in, let's say what's a Vietnamese players. Let's say we have a bunch of Vietnamese players. Translate it to Vietnamese first, and then go down the list. That's how I'm seeing and doing it. Because to me, that's the smarter way of doing it. You always want to translate to where your fan base is. Because I'm English speaking, I'm doing English first, because I don't have to pay anyone to do that. Granted, I have to ask someone to help me spell check and grammar check things, but I got a coder that can help me do that. Hopefully he didn't hear it. Anyways, we got that all set up. So, what's the next thing we can work on? Let's work on more of the overlay for this. So I'm going to hit escape. Now we got the UI working.
Well, you have the UI in. Can you say that the UI is working, though?
No, because we need to get, that part connected up. But I want to fix the ball part first.
Well, I might very well have that completed. I'm just doing the last test on it now.
Okay,
so let's go ahead. Get the slider working on your side while I'm running my tests.
So the slider's all hooked up on my side.
So it actually is moving up and down?
Yes, it does move up and down. So let me hit
cool.
play.
I didn't see that.
Okay, I don't have the code for the slider moving up and down, but it is a slider. All we have to do is a connect in game code to reference that slider, and it will work.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and get that going on your end there.
Okay, because if we go here, let me just go into this blueprint real quick. So this one that you see here, you notice all these were named image, and this one was named slider, because I actually used the slider functionality in this. Mm-hmm. That's the reason why.
Yeah, so what you need to do now is you basically need to plug that slider from the UI into the slider variable that we left on the shooter.
Yes. And so I have no idea how to do that, because I spent my whole entire time researching on how to get the user interface to show up and make it a little bit nicer and work a little bit nicer.
Well, I mean, we can go.
Yeah.
I was going to say, okay, we can go the ugly way and then just basically hard code it in for this one scene, but that would be. We still have to learn how to do it the the right way. Otherwise, it's going to be really, really annoying to work with later on.
Exactly. I'd rather do it the right way first.
So let's go ahead. So if I overheard right, the HUD is linked over to basically the player object, right?
Mm-hmm. So let me see. Where was it that I went for that setup? Let me close this out. So let me show you the code on that again. Go here, into world objects. And let's see. It was this one here.
Okay, so it's in the game mode, then goes to UI HUD overlay.
So in here, if we go to, where is it? I forgot where it was that was all put. Oh yeah, it's right here. UI HUD overlay is all of the code there.
All right.
So this is what makes it show up on the screen.
Okay, so links. All right, so it goes get player controller. It's an owning player link to there. Let's UI. Well, I suppose we have to find out, does the player controller then have if the player controller has a link back to the UI that was created for it, then we can basically kind of relay for that, because the shooter knows the player controller because the input's being set over there. So shooter as the player controller, what's your HUD UI? And then okay, now it's got that reference. Then ask the HUD UI, okay, where's the slider object? Grab that, store that in the variable. So we just need to see if we have those options.
Okay. So you need more research time, or?
Well, I mean, I'm going to need to dig into that a bit, but let me just do my quick test here.
Okay.
Because I definitely have it set up so that the shooter, like the first part of the bug with the shooter still being able to shoot, I fixed that one. So that's fine now. What I'm doing now is just testing will it detect if the marble has stopped? And that one is apparently still a work in progress. Let me.
Okay, well, while you're working on that, I can continue doing the work on the HUD.
All right.
So we got this here. So let me pull up one thing here. I'm going to go here. I want to go to here. I want game designs, Marble Golf. I'll go into art, go into textures. In textures, I am looking for the scoreboard. There's the scoreboard. Let's open this up as an image. Photo. Okay, so it is score, par, strokes. So I'm going to pull this over to the side. I'm going to close this. I'm going to do text. Right, hold on. All I want is text. Take this, drag this here. Click on this. And we're going to cut. Let's move this. Nope, wrong thing. Let's unmove that. Let's go back. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just take text. I'm going to put right there. It's text block. Rename score. Okay, there we go. And the text that's going to stay in there is score. There we go. Enter. So there's the score part. I'm going to take this, move it up to here. Get in really good. Let's move it down just a bit. No, right there is good. So we got score there. And for the alignment, the anchor, upper right hand corner. And I can change the color of it. I'm going to keep it the white. You can also adjust the font. We can choose the fonts that we use. I'm going to look for fonts that would fit for that well. And we're going to take another text. I'm going to grab text there. We're going to rename this par. We'll go back over here. Put that as par. Hit enter. Take this. We're going to put that right there. Got some kerning issues there because those dots are right over it, but that's okay. So let's go ahead, take text again, that right there, rename this, strokes, and then go over to the text box, enter, oh. There we go, and we're going to take this. Put that right there. One more over. And let's take score. We're going to move it also. A little too close. There we go. We'll move that to there. We do need to take this, we want the anchor point to be there. We want this and the anchor point to be there. Then we're going to go ahead and go compile. We're going to go save. We're going to go here. We're going to hit play. There you go. We have that working out. But we have a few more text fields we need to put in because this is blank, this is blank, this is blank, this is blank. Okay, this is going to be a solid number based off of the game. So this is going to read off of some data. All of these are going to read off of data. This is going to have the player's name. So wherever the player puts in, it needs to read that data. And it's going to put in that black box. Wherever the score is, it's going to read off of the data score. And that's going to be changing during gameplay. And then par is going to read off the moment it's loaded. That's going to tell you how many strokes the average is for that and put a number in there. And then the strokes, as the player goes through and plays, that will change. And the reason this is so big compared to this is we don't care how many strokes the player does. So you could do 100 strokes in the game, and that's fine. In fact, you can still pass the level with 100 strokes. The problem is for every stroke you go over par, you lose some points. As long as you're gaining more points than you're losing per stroke, you're still going to be above. Which makes the game very interesting. I think that's a unique mechanic. But we have that in there, and as you can see, it looks nice. It looks presentable. So we have that done. So let's go ahead, go back into here, bring this up. Okay, that's all. Audio text box we don't want. Let me see. I'll have to figure out how to do the actual text for that, but we got that basis set up. And so that's the main thing that we want. And then we also have a UI that we need to set up for when paused, a main UI. There's a bunch of UI elements that I have to look into because I need to see if we need to make a separate paused UI, which would bring a UI up in the center for accessing like the options, the quitting, the resuming, things like that. And then we need to create a main menu UI, but with that pause menu UI, we still want the scoreboard and this stuff showing up. So I need to look into seeing if I can create into this HUD UI and just have those hidden and then unhide them, or if I need to create a separate UI HUD element for that. It all depends on how it would work. I prefer it all to be on one and just hide those. I think that would be the better way to do it. So with that said, what's the next thing we can work on? Let me find. Let me load a level. File. Open level. Let's open test. Oh, I want to open level. Okay, so we have this. So let's select this. I want to do. So actually, we're going to go to the shooter. This is the shooter blueprint. Yep. That's not what I want. This is what I'm looking for. This right here. Okay, nope. Let's see, where is the... Close this. Okay, that's why there's details. Let's type mesh. Okay, what would we name that mesh? I think we need to import the mesh. So let's do an import. Look for the shooter mesh. Gonna be a bit ugly, but that's okay. Where is the shooter? There it is. Open that. Import that in. Here. Nothing there. Okay. So we're going to go here. Material. Go into the material. Close that out. Nope. Well, we could just do this. There we go. As you see, it has material on it. Not too bad. Could be a lot better though. We'll do that. Go here. Sure. Okay. Go here. Metallic. Cancel that. What happens if I... Okay, it's the same thing. Oh. None. It's all RBG. Okay, so let me look something up real quick. There you go. Let me try something here. Done there. No. Let's take this. This. There, nope. Okay, so let's get rid of... Okay, so what I need to do... Right click... Create material. Underscore shooter. Underscore. Okay, there we go. So we've done that. So now when we go here to the shooter, let's go here. Boom. Okay, problem solved. Got it. That's the UV mapped one. That's okay. It still works. It shows that, you know, this is the actual model and everything. But then we can go like, we have this here. Take this, go here. Let's go to course. We have the floor. Yep, that's the one we want. Okay, excellent. So let's go ahead and click here. Go here. We're going to import. Looking for the floor. Let's do this. Open. And click here. Create new material. We'll do floor. Underscore. So there we go. And in this, go back to here. There it is. There it is. So let's click here. Nope, not what I'm looking for. Oh, you know, it helps if I'm clicked on the right thing, doesn't it? So let's go here. This up. Material. Floor. So there's the floor of that material I made. Looks good on one side, not the other. Okay. So that looks, we'll keep that for now. There we go. As you can see, it carries on. Yeah, we have some issues there. So what if we do here? Click here. Right click, import. We have another floor material at the very bottom here. Do this one. This one looks better. Let me open this up. Take a look at this real quick. That's the right one I'm wanting to use. Cancel that. Let's go into this material here. Okay, it looks right there. Not changing anything there. I want to rotate it. Because it's going the wrong way. Can I rotate this material? Let me see what I can do here. Go here. Not reflections. Looking for what I need. That's transparency, reflections, offset, post-processing. Okay, so I have an idea. Let me go back into here. Go to here. I want to go into the game design here, art, textures. I want to take this one, open this up. Then I'm going to go here, transform. Clockwise. We'll rotate it like that. We're going to go File, Save As. We're going to change this to a 3. Go Save. Okay. We're going to close this. No, I do not want to save that one. So now we have a third one right here. And it's been rotated and changed. Now I'm going to go here. I'm going to go, where is it? Delete this, delete, and let's delete this, delete, and let's go here. We're going to go import, scroll all the way to the bottom. We want this one here, open. Go here, create new material. floor underscore. There we go. Then we go here. In here, we will find this. Should work. We're good there. Getting the base point, so in one area it's wrong, in the other area it's right. Let's go ahead and take this. We're going to go ahead and delete that. Take this. I'm going to delete that. There we go. Go here. Go here. We're going to just use, no, not that one. This. Actually, hold on. Let me look at that one again. I like that one better. We'll go with that. We'll just use that for now. Oh, I know what I did. Let's go into this. I want to show. Where is it? Collision. Complex collision. Okay. Hide that. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay, that's the 15 one. Okay, so what if we go into Blender? So we go here, pull Blender. We're going to go File. We're going to Open. I'm going to go to, no, E. Wrong one. Go up. Got Game Design, Marble Golf, Art, Models. Okay, so that's the right one. Have that UV mapped to map editor. That's that, that's that. Okay, so what we're gonna do, we'll go UV, export UV layout. We want to name this underscore UV. Where is this being saved? Models, okay. We'll do an export. We're gonna minimize this. Gonna open up Photoshop. Go to File and do an Open. And go back. We want Models. We're looking for the floor. Flipper. Floor UV. Open. So we have this here, right? And so what I'm showing you guys right now is how to texture, add in the, come on. There we go. Let's go 75. Okay. Good enough. So we're going to go File. We're going to go Open. We're going to go to PC. We want here. Here, golf, and go to art, and go to textures, and there's a few textures we're looking for. Let's see, we want the fairway floor. We want this one here. Open. So we've opened those two. Let's start with this here. We're going to take this texture here, put it to here, put it to there. I'm going to take this, and we want this under. The reason we want this under is we want to be able to scale this to fit within that texture. So we're going to go transform, free transform. I'm going to hold Alt and Shift, pull in like so. I'm going to bring in more. I'm going to bring this to 100. There we go. Let's just pull this up a bit like so. Go ahead to there. Nope, up. That looks good. And we're going to go ahead and click here. We're going to click Apply. And what we're going to do is we're going to, because that's so long, going to duplicate the layer. I'm going to go OK. I'm just hitting the arrow key to bring it over. So we're good there. So we have all of that. Then we're going to take this one and duplicate it again and go OK. We're going to move that one down. I just want to put over the end caps. Just move it a bit over. Bring it down more because we don't want it over the other texture that we have. And we'll just do like so. And what we'll do, edit. We will free transform, hold shift. Oh, let's bring it up by a bit. Like so. Click OK. Click apply. I want to take this texture right here. Copy this. I'm going to go up here. I'm going to do that. Now I'm going to align this to here, like so. Now you notice I got a bunch of covered space, and that's fine. What I'm going to do is I'm going to click here. I'm going to click on my magic wand. I'm going to click here. And I'm going to, now I got all those selected, I can click here. I can hit delete. Gone. I can click here. I can hit delete. Gone. Click here. I can hit delete. Gone. I can can click here. I can hit delete. Gone. What that is doing is that is making it so that this is clean, clear, and perfect. And then just to add a little bit more safety, I'm going to take this, I'm going to hide this. I'm going to go here, I'm going to add a new layer. I'm going to bring this down to the very bottom. I'm going to flip to here. I'm going to go to my fill bucket. I'm going to fill the background with black. That way, if there's any gaps, I'll be able to see easily because it will contrast with the colors. So with that being said, I'm going to go File. I'm going to do a Save As. And that is floor. And let's do underscore. We'll just say 1. Helps if we have it actually say floor. We do not want it as a Photoshop file. We want it as a PNG. This is under models. We don't want it under models. We want it under textures. We'll go save. Go OK. And then for any kind of changes we want, I'm going to do Save As. Still has that. We're still under models. We don't want that. We'll go to textures. We're going to go here. 1. We're going to do a save. That way we're saving the setup for that. Then we're going to close this out. Bring this back up. Right click here. Import. Now look for the floor that we just created. That's right, it's F. You just scroll up. There it is. That is what we created for that model. And go open, right click, generate new material. Enter, and go back to this, and change this, scroll all the way up like we did before, click this, close out, look at that. How cool does that look? Yeah, when you get up close, it is pretty bad, but I'm going to be working on it. I'm going to be working on new textures. But from a distance, that looks really good. I really like that. So we now have textures on that. Let's add a texture to the ball. So we'll go ball, right click, import material. I know what I'm looking for. No. There's that. Here's the... I know I created one. Swore I created a marble. That's the poster. Play buttons, texture, paper. Where is play buttons? Rock 2. How are things going on your end, Zabby?
Well, I have good and bad news.
Okay.
So the good news is I found out what was keeping the system from basically detecting that it stopped moving.
Mm-hmm.
And that is that in Unreal Engine, if you have the default physics turned on for an object, it will fight with the projectile movement component.
Oh!
They do not play well together. So, okay, go ahead, turn that off on the static mesh.
Mm-hmm.
It'll go through, it will bounce,
Mm-hmm.
it will not rotate, and the bounces look kind of silly.
Yeah, I don't want that.
So, what I need to do now is figure out basically the entire system that we've got for launching it, then we will basically need to scrap.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like all the cannon stuff, that all works fine. But for the cannonball itself, all the code basically has to be redone from scratch to be able to get it to have a initial velocity, get it moving, detect when it stops. Because that way it'll actually roll as we expect it to, as basically as it has been doing.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's handled by the standard physics in game. So
yeah,
this is going to be a little bit messy. But were you able to go through? Were you basically just working on materials?
Yeah, I was just working on some material stuff. So basically, I got material on the shooter. I got material on the course piece, because if you're actually looking at my screen right now, let's go ahead and hit play.
Yeah, that's looking how I remember it there.
A little bit.
Yeah, I need to scale that texture a bit for the ground plane itself. But
yes, and that's something I'm looking at doing in the future. Is I'm going to be redoing all the textures, because if you remember, the original design of this game was for mobile, so all the textures are 512 by 512.
Yeah, if we're focusing on actual PC now on this point, we can afford to scale them up a bit. And even modern mobile, because the last time that we'd actually looked about pushing this thing was how many years back now?
It was
mobile
a
devices
long
have a lot more memory available too. So
yes,
even if we were going on that front, we could scale it up a bit more to make it look nicer.
Exactly. And I still want the shooter's a placeholder model.
Yeah. It's functional. That's all that matters.
Yeah, that's all. It's better than it just being a cylinder.
Yeah, at least this way you can tell, okay, here's the direction it's supposed to be facing.
Exactly. So. But, what I really like about this is, let me go out of, let's hit escape. What I really like about this is, with that whole entire thing of it following, look at how good this looks with it following it.
Oh, yeah. And you can see the seam on... Actually, no, I think that might even just be from where it's selected. So actually, if you deselect it...
Okay, so
it's still showing the spline effect on it.
Yeah, it still shows the spline effect on there. But...
yeah, a little bit of a hard angle right there with that on the inner corner.
But that's something, like I said, I'm going to work on. I mean, some of those hard angles, yes, it's bad. But right here, that's really good. These harsher angles, not so much. But I have models for that.
Yeah.
It's these curves here where it just curves so nicely.
Yeah, that is looking good.
And I have the ones for the hard right angles. I have the ones where it does like a really, really sharp turn to where you can do like almost a 180 on the course. And we can just work from there and then interput splines between.
Mm-hmm.
But this, just glorious.
Yeah.
You know, and the model, I mean, you really can't tell where the harsh bend is. Mm-hmm. You know, where you can't tell. You get the harsh angle from the edges, but the curve of this is just so smooth.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can't tell. You don't see any. Harsh edging on the actual turn part. And I like that. I mean, heck, even over at this one here, you don't even see it. And I expect to see like an edge, like right here somewhere, that you'd harshly see in the model. And you don't. But I'd say that looks really, I mean, from this distance, it looks good.
Mm-hmm.
It's when you get close up to it, like here, that you start seeing it. And pixelating, especially when you're like here. So I am going to be working on that. I'm going to be doing at least doing, I'd say 2K, maybe 4K versions. I'll probably do 4K versions. But I gotta redo all the textures because, well, we can't, upscale something from 500 pixels to 4,000 pixels.
Yeah.
Just ain't not gonna work.
And there might technically be some options as far as like using AI for it goes, but it's at this point, especially with where it's at, it's better just to do it yourself.
Yeah.
Especially because AI upscaling can be hit or miss.
It can be very hit
really
and miss.
Count on it.
And I really want to redo this anyways because I think it'd be a good stream to show people how to create hand painted textures. How I created this wood texture. Because it looks good. From this distance, that texture looks really, really good. I mean, the grass was really easy. So, because I wanted it to sort of have that artificial grass feel to it. I mean, all it is just a couple of filters in Photoshop and a green color. That's all it really is. And I don't feel like doing that checkered thing that a lot of the miniature golf games have been doing of the checkered grass on the playfield. I'm not going that direction. I want to keep it like this.
Yeah, and checkered grass is certainly a choice, but it's kind of an ugly choice.
Yeah. So yeah, I'd say we got something looking a lot nicer. Because I mean, when you hit play, where did the UI go? Why isn't the UI showing up anymore? Still all hooked up there. Our UI's gone now. That's odd. All those there, that there. What's this? This can go away. Delete. We don't need that. World. Oh, okay, that's why. There we go. Now if we hit play. There we go. Okay, it just didn't have a game mode set up in there. Solved the problem.
That would do it.
See, when you watch these tutorials, don't just learn them to learn what to do in that setup. Learn them to learn the systems. The why. Why are they doing that one thing? Because if you learn the why, when you run into problems, you'll be able to think that way and go, okay, why is that set in there? So I know what to look for in the future. So that you can implement it into different types of games. That's how you should be looking at YouTube tutorials or any written documentation. You should always be asking, why are they doing it this way? And if you're able to answer why they're doing it that way and think of it that direction, you'll be able to use that in more than just that instance. And that's important to remember. So, Zabby, overall, what do you think about the whole entire UI layout and what we have implemented so far?
Yeah, I mean, definitely made some good progress on there. I do like that we've got some of the materials in, so that gives you something else to work on over on there. And what I'm actually looking at right now is how to hook in the slider. But
okay.
Do you want to go ahead and just get the one thing that I actually did confirm that I was able to get was the ball launching, so that only one happens at a time. Do you want to just get that fixed in real fast?
Yeah, so let's see. We need to go to... That is the shooter asset, right?
Yep.
Okay, let's see. Where's the shooter? Okay, that's goal.
Down 3 from there.
Shooter, right there.
Yep.
Okay, so I need the shooter blueprint, right?
Yep.
Shooter blueprint. Very confusing shooter blueprint.
Yeah, so this was actually just another little bit of oversight.
Okay.
Just forgot one more conditional. So zoom in over on your left mouse button event.
Left mouse button event.
It's right in the center of your screen. Yep, move to the right a bit. A little more. Okay, too far.
Looking for it. Oh, left mouse button right here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, and actually move up and left a tiny bit.
Up and left, okay.
There we go, yeah. All right, so you're going to want to click on where it says just above left mouse, and you see that bit where you've got control mode, the conditional, and the branch.
Yeah, these three right here.
Yeah, select all 3 of those.
Okay, so select it. Select this. This. Okay.
All right, then just do a copy paste.
So here.
Control C, Control V.
Copy.
Yeah.
Okay. And then V. Okay.
All right. Now you're going to take your spawn actor marble blueprint and then the sets that are connected to it. Drag those over to the right.
So drag these over to the right?
No, that part you leave there for now.
Well, I want to move them where I can easily read it. Okay, so there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. All right, so... all right, and then link the left mouse button released up to that branch.
Released, okay. Mouse button release. I'm looking for it.
Yeah, so you've got the red box for left mouse button.
Mm-hmm.
Then you see the released tag on there.
This one.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, now drag that over to the branch that you just created over in your upper right corner here.
So to this?
So that's conditional.
Oh, to here.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Then in the conditional, change that from aiming to launching.
Aiming to launching. Okay.
Yep. And now drag the branch true.
Branch true. Okay.
Back to the spawn marble command.
Spawn marble command. Where's the spawn?
Your spawn actor, the blue one.
Actor, blue one.
Just to the right or left mouse button. Just down from where your cursor is.
Oh, right here?
Too far down. All right.
Oh, right here?
Yeah, that one.
Okay. So we need to take this and connect it. Oh, come on, mouse. Here?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, so what was happening was, sure, it was ignoring changing the mode again when on pressed, but I forgot to have you set up a condition to have it, okay, ignore this branch when you release the mouse button as well.
Okay.
Because it's two different events that happen with each mouse click. And we weren't ignoring both of them when you were in the wrong mode.
Okay.
So now if you save and compile this.
Let me move this up a bit. I want to give myself a bit more space here because everything's too chunked together. My eyes are starting to go, wait!
Yeah.
So I want to give space for each chunk.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. Okay, now my eyes aren't so confused. Okay, so what are we doing next?
Well, save it, compile it.
Compile it, save it.
All right, and now when you run it, what should happen then is you will only be able to have one out at a time. Yeah, so that was just kind of creeping along, but it's not letting you launch any others.
I cannot launch any others.
Okay,
that has been solved. So we solved one bug.
Yeah, and you made some good visual progress on there.
Yep,
did some other important stuff, and it's gonna be an interesting thing on it.
Yeah, see, I cannot fire any others. All I need to do is add texture to the ball now.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's an improvement. It's not a constant shoot. So that small little bit fixed the problem. Like you said, it was a small oversight.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where blueprints help me. If I were to look at lines of codes, I will have missed that for a long time. Because it's in a blueprint format, it makes it so much easier for my eyes. That's where blueprint coding for people who have something like nystagmatism, where your eyes jump around, is a saving grace. Because lines of codes, we just can't handle. It's so long of you sitting there with like a ruler or some kind of stick holding up and moving along to try to read things just to allow your eyes to snap back to the point to where you were. And the problem is with cerebral palsy, if my hand's shaking, that stick ends up accidentally moving and I'm totally lost. So cerebral palsy with nystagmatism, bad combination trying to do that. I either end up with cramps in the muscles for my eyes, or I end up with arm cramps. Just it's bad. So that's why my coding is in blueprints. Yours would probably be in something like C# or C++. Which, I'm so envious that you can do.
I mean, we've got our own different things to look at on here, because
Yeah.
with the way I'm used to using, like with a good development environment with the C# or C+, it would be able to go through and I mean, it requires a little bit of work over on the engine maker side, but it should be generally automated at this point for most modern engines. Where, like what I'm trying to do now, for example, is right. I can go into the game mode, and then I can grab the current active HUD object out of it. Then, in that development environment, what I should do, since now that it knows it's looking at HUD object, I can go basically into its autocomplete from it, look through the properties that the HUD object has revealed, and I should be able to kind of figure out from there, here's the stuff that I need. But going through, since the graphical interface for the blueprint nodes combines everything that your selected object can do, everything that the engine can do, it basically sticks everything into the same spot, narrowing it down to just the things from that one object it doesn't really have that option on there. I mean, yes, there is the context sensitive thing, but as we've seen before, even that won't give you all the components of that object that you're pulling from. It'll give you the components that it thinks you want from that object, but it'll still hide some. So you have to turn it off to get everything, and that gives you too much. So my normal workflow of, okay, let's poke around at this and see what I can actually touch doesn't work. And the documentation that they have on this is not as thorough as I would like.
I just changed out the texture on the shooter.
Nice.
And it's actually a better looking texture too. So we got that. So now when we click play, there we go. Okay, now I need the one for the ball. Texture for the ball. Let's go to the ball. There's that. Let's cancel that. Go here. Let's close this. Don't save. Let's bring this up. Go Adobe Photoshop. File. Open. And this can do take rid of, yeah, we can get rid of that. We want the smile. Minimize that. We want the eye. Actually, let's bring that back up. Let's go here. Select a neutral blue. Go OK. Now hide that. Down here, we're going to add in that. Bring that to there. Flip this. We're going to do a fill. We're going to fill like that. Now, let's go File. And do a Save As. And do a PNG. Let's call it Marball Test. Okay, okay. So we got that. Let's just get the select tool up. We're gonna go here. Right click. Import. I go There it is. Open that up. Let's turn that into a material. Turn that into a material. Let's see, that is the material. Okay, so that material can get deleted. Cancel. Let's see, that's the blueprint. That's the mesh. Scroll all the way to the it's in the bottom. There it is. That should work. Close. Do a test. Rotate this way. Pull. Fire.
Yeah, that works.
Yep. Done.
Yep.
It's just that easy. Because I already have textures done. Why redo a texture if you don't need to? Such as the texture for the UI. Don't need to redo it. So all we need to do is get the physics problem with the ball stopping fixed. Then we hook in the slider. And it's camera. I think that's pretty much it for the shooter. So blueprint code-wise, we're not getting that far, but as you can see, we're getting really far with the texture. Okay, let's see. Let's see.
Before you go running off on there, since I don't want to have to go through and either just get all your project files over to my side so we can poke around with it, or learn the entire HUD system directly myself, we're going to need to go through and poke on your end a bit. I found some stuff that looks like it might help.
Okay. So what do we need to poke on?
All right, we need to go into the HUD object itself.
So the UI. So you want this, the blueprint, right?
Yep.
Okay, we're in the blueprint.
All right. Okay, so we need to basically find the slider widget. We need to go over to that.
So we need the slider widget blueprint?
Yeah, so wherever you're setting up the slider in the UI.
Okay, so let's actually instead. So here, we'll select the slider, and you want the blueprint for this, right?
Oh, so we're good there. Now you see over on the right-hand side where it has value.
Value.
It's under appearance.
Okay, appearance value. Yes, got right here.
Mm-hmm. All right, so one thing is, have you seen what happens if you adjust the maximum value to actually match like the range that we can use for the shooter? So like up to like, what was it, 3,000, 5,000?
Yeah, it doesn't do that.
It can go so up it caps to 3. It out at, Okay, so it has to be percentile.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So you see where it says bind, just to the upper right of where your cursor is.
Right here?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Click that.
Okay.
Create binding.
Create binding.
All right, so now what we're doing is effective. So this is how we link over the ability to update a value constantly. So in here is where we need to basically get to the HUD UI to talk over to the shooter.
Mm-hmm.
So what we may need to do, okay, so if we can expose this, let's go into the variable. So you see where you've got variables on the left?
Variables, yep.
Yeah, go ahead, add a float here.
Float. Well, nope. Float.
Yep.
Okay. What do we call this float?
Just call it a scaled value.
Okay.
All right, and yeah, we want this
public.
Yeah, public that here.
I remember from last week. Mm-hmm.
So what we may be able to do then is so actually rather this is can require basically a fair amount of poking and fiddling on it. So actually, rather than doing this on stream,
you want to play around with the off stream. Well, the stream's about almost over anyways.
Yeah.
So why don't we call it good here? We got this part set up so we can reference it later on.
Yeah.
So I can go ahead and just
do your project folders and
I'll compile, save it. I'll save, so we're good.
And then just get your project folders over onto the shared drive, and I can take a look at them from there.
Yeah.
And mess around with it till I find something that works.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, I will admit, this is not the best way to do programming for things. But when your documentation isn't sufficient, it's kind of what you gotta do.
Yeah, exactly. The better the documentation you have for your game engine, the easier it is for people to use. That's the reason why people enjoy using Unity over Unreal. Is there's so much support and getting answers for Unity than there is for Unreal. If Unreal had a lot of videos that went into depth and easy to understand, that wasn't full technical documents, a lot more people would be using Unreal.
And honestly, from my view, is I kind of hate watching tutorial videos just because the pacing, when you get to the point, all that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I read way, way, way faster. So I kind of actually, I'm good with having good technical documents out there.
Mm-hmm.
But those don't exist either.
Yeah, and that's where the big problem is. If we ever create a game engine, I'll tell you right now, what will end up happening is Zavi would write up a really good technical document for it, covering everything, and then I would do videos to compensate for the people who have the issues with being able to read for a long period of times.
Mm-hmm.
That way we get the both the best world. Because a lot of complaints I get on some of the videos I create is, why are you doing a tutorial on this simple mechanic to do in the game? It's right there on the screen. I'm like, some people have visual issues where they're unable to read that. So therefore, me doing a visual guide on how to do it helps those people out.
Yeah, I mean, different people have different learning styles on it there.
Yep.
And the more of them that you can address, the better.
Yep, and sometimes it's not just learning styles. Sometimes they're forced to learn that way.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like a friend of mine, he's so nearsighted, he's legally blind. When he looks at the screen, his face has to be, in order to see what's on the screen, his face has to be just a few inches away from the screen for him to be able to see it. So him trying to read a whole entire document like that, no.
Mm-hmm.
Him listening and watching a video, different story. He catches information so much quicker that way. Just like me watching a video, it clicks a lot quicker. Because when I'm reading something, I'm having to focus and use half my brain power to make sure my eyes aren't shaking as much. Therefore, I'm not receiving the information as easily because I'm using so much of my mind to focus my eyes that I'm not able to seep that information in. When I watch a video on how to do something, because I'm not having to constantly focus my eyes on that and, use my mind to make sure that my eyes are staying more focused on it, I'm able to seep in that information that much quicker. So, but we got a lot done. I'm very happy with what we got done. We have 2 weeks. There will be no live stream next Monday because I will be out of town. I'm going on a cycling tour to the coast, meet up with a bunch of friends. It's a yearly thing I do. I'm not missing it this year. I want to thank you guys all for watching, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Have a good night, everyone.